Hello.
Hi, thanks. This is Colleen with Nerd Alert News, and I am so excited to get to talk to you. We are here today, or I am here today, with Kirsten Beyer, one of the writers of the new podcast series Star Trek Con, which I've listened to, and it's so good. I got to listen to the first couple. It's so good. It's I was immersed instantly into your world. Great job, really great job.
That was the goal.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So what I wanted to talk to you first about was you know Trek. I feel like you're one of Trek's biggest influences now. And I'm in awe of that. But I wanted to ask you, this is such a big task to take on Khan's backstory and what happened on SETI Alpha 5. Um, what was it like just to start out with, to even tackle this?
Well, the first thing that we really were looking at was this fact that is on its face pretty plain. The guy that we meet in Space Seed is not really the guy that we meet in Wrath of Khan,
Right.
right? They are
Yeah.
two very different people.
Hmm.
And so the question of how did you go from here to here seems like a good one, you know? Um, and then we were also considering what a really profound influence Khan as a person has had on our universe as it continues on. We banned an entire path of scientific inquiry because of him and what he did, which is so not what the Federation usually is or is about. So the sort of deep seated fear and horror that exists around this guy is pretty massive. Um, and at that point, once you sort of have these kind of initial thematic questions and like whatever, you just kind of start working the puzzle. You look at the few things that you know that are there in Space Seed and there in Wrath of Khan, and you let your imagination start playing with, well, what would have had to happen for these things now? And in this case, like Nick had already done a ton of work at the point that I came on with David. Um, he already had a couple of really important themes he wanted to explore and a way he wanted to tell this story. And the only challenge at that point was really that when Nick made Wrath of Khan, there was 80 hours of Star Trek in existence, and there are now over 900. And for better and worse, most of those live in my brain rent free, and he has no idea about any of them. So he had no idea where choices he would make would ripple out and affect things and knock things over. And, we had to sort of start with what we had and go, okay, yes, we can do this, but you kind of have to, So there was a lot of that in the beginning. And then, it just goes off.
Well, I feel like it's a story that's just begging to be told.
Now,
I
now it
mean,
feels that way.
I mean, Rathacon's my favorite, of course,
Mine
like
too.
so many people.
Yes, obviously.
It was so brilliant, and Khan's character, obviously there was so much more to it, and I felt for him and what he and his people went through.
Yeah.
So I knew there was so much more to it. So this is so cool that the story's finally going to get told. And and the cast that you have, they're amazing. Just amazing. They're
To a
perfect. It's just how
man.
I picture them.
Yeah. Yeah. Every single one of them blew me away. I mean, the obviously Naveen and Wrenn and George and Tim, but then like Maury, the guy who plays Ivan, like the every single actor walked into that room ready to give it their all. They all treated it like it was Shakespeare, and I was like, thank you. Like they were just yes, they were incredible, every single one of them.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Between your writing and their acting, it was
They
so
would
good.
get really mad at me though from time to time. They were like, "Son, why did you do that?" I'm like, "Sorry, don't lose your mind. Go." Like,
I'm
yeah,
sure that happens a lot. Like, why did you write this?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so good. And I'm so excited to talk more about it and promote it. And it's great.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I just want you to
Well,
hear the rest of it. I'm excited to see what you think.
um, so we're going to find out. what happened between Khan and Lieutenant MacGyver's, which, I mean, we only found like a piece of it in Space Seed, and what got started. Are we going to find out? Well, can't spoilers, but are we ever going to find out that, I mean, Khan isn't just like you had said, he's not who we expected him to be. He starts out, he seems like such a well-intended person and he really cares about his people, and they followed him for a reason. So, how did you go about telling that story without making him evil right from the beginning, or transitioning him? How were you able to come up with that and transition it?
I never believe characters are evil. I mean, every now and again, yeah, you're writing a sociopath, but the vast majority of characters that you're writing are people with their own agenda.
Okay.
And they believe they are right and they are doing the right thing. And depending upon whose agenda that comes in conflict with, if they're the people we're used to thinking of as our heroes, then they are automatically going to get cast in this light. But there is so much to mine with Khan, given that he was created in a lab. And
Mhm.
what does that do to a child? That he was genetically predetermined to have these, as if we could genetically like engineer for intelligence or like whatever. I mean, who knows?
Not
We say we
yet.
can. So all right, I have questions. But anyway, but so he has these predisposed things, but how were they developed and what were they developed to? I sort of immediately fell in love with this idea that you have a guy who was literally raised to be a thing. He was raised by these other military guys to be like the soldier who is going to go
Mhm.
out and
Mhm.
conquer this part of the world that we can't seem to get under control ourselves. And he goes out there and he does that job. And then he turns around and they're like, great, we'll take the keys to the kingdom back. Thank you very much. And he's like, really? No, I don't think so. Because I don't think you guys are up to it, but I am. It always just made a lot of sense to me that he's constantly like evolving in this journey. He's not ever any one thing. Um, and that the guy that we meet at the end is a product of all the things that have come before him. Khan is a different guy in Spacey. If Khan had, if yes, he does this horrible thing in trying to take the ship, but that's also a tactically and strategically correct thing for him to do from his point of view. And even as he's torturing people, like it's almost like he doesn't want to do this. He literally, it's the quickest way for him to get what he needs and to show everybody who's in charge and whatever. But he's not doing it because he's taking joy in it. That's always clear, right?
Yeah.
Um, and just the MacGyvers of it all, right? I mean, she's super problematic in space. I find that relationship very, very troubling in that episode. But it's also very much a product of its time. So like we live with it, right? But I also felt that like Marla has to be so much more than what we have seen of her so far. If she's going to survive on that
Yeah.
planet with Khan,
Mhm.
right? And there's no reason to believe she's not also a brilliant Starfleet officer. Like there's just no reason to think that. But um, I don't know. I knew from the beginning that he was not simply anything, and neither was she. And so figuring out how to develop that relationship in a way that I was going to find compelling, which included a relationship of equals, right? There is so much weight in that line he has in Wrath of Khan, my beloved wife. That word, we don't use that word. And to me, it carries so much. That's what she became to him. So that sort of guided us through the process.
Well, I like what you touched on, that it's kind of a product of the 60s too. I mean, it was back then. I mean, that's who
Yeah,
she would be. That's who the character, she'd be vulnerable. She would fall for him, but
that's who the
not,
character on TV would be. I don't
right,
think
well,
there
that's what
were,
I meant, like
I
on
don't think,
TV.
yeah. Yeah, like that
Yeah,
was
but
sort
that
of an
is
ideal.
not, that's not who your Lieutenant MacGyver is. That's not who Marla is in the podcast. She is intelligent and brave and strong, and I love how you portrayed her.
Yeah. But she is also a product of her, like who she was on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Somebody who wasn't really around a lot of people, didn't get a lot of time on missions, didn't like, she was bored out of her mind on that ship. I think, in
Yeah.
some ways. You know what I mean? Because she would be. It's a thing we don't think about a lot with Star Trek because we're always seeing like when the cool things start to happen, but space is big and it takes a long time to get from place to place. And there is a lot of time you're going to spend kind of with nothing to do. Yeah, so all of these things factor in. The more you can sort of immerse yourself in the universe and the world and what it would actually feel like to be a person living in it, the more you find to make all of that richer for the audience in the story.
I feel like you did that. And I feel like you're the expert to do it with all your experience. I was researching you and I was just like, oh, you did this, you did this. Well, yeah, you're the ideal person to carry it on and and also to continue writing for the other brilliant shows. I mean, these shows on Paramount, I watch them on Paramount Plus. They're amazing. And Strange New Worlds and Picard and Discovery. It's I'm enjoying the hell out of them.
Oh,
I
I'm so
mean, they're
glad.
so well done. It's not like it's just not like regular television. I mean, it's just such a quality that knows my nerdy heart. And I feel like your writing is speaking right to me. So it's just been such a treat. Now I know you wrote all these, and then now I'm so excited to talk about this particular series.
Yeah.
What was it like writing for audio? Like
Yes.
Naveen mentioned that it's magic, like
It's,
radio. It's got a particular magic, but writing for it is something different. How was that for you?
yeah, it's so I had done this once before. I did an audio drama a couple of years ago for Simon and Schuster. So I'd already sort of like broken this code, which is simply this. When you're writing for the screen, what you are thinking constantly when you are writing is what am I seeing? And what am I seeing? And how am I directing the reader's eye toward the thing that's important, right? And there's a lot of stuff that is unseen on that page because you know it's going to be filled in by the actors or the costumes or like whatever. But
Mhm.
but that's the goal. What am I seeing? When you start writing for audio, you have to close your eyes and you have to take that sense and throw it entirely out the window and say, okay, so what can I hear? And not only like is it present, but is it something that the audience is going to understand and connect to the story, or is it going to take them out of the story, right?
Mm.
So you sort of find yourself closing your eyes a lot and being like, okay, we're here, so there's the jungle, so there's the sounds, and then somebody's approaching, so there's footsteps, and you just sort of, I mean, I don't think I overwrote all of those kinds of directions, but I do know that by the time Realm and Fred got started with the scripts, or as we were, because he was there with the development of them, um, that he was always so grateful that I did include all those things. Like even if we don't need them or like whatever, just knowing that that's what's in your head helps me create the whole. Because then there's a whole nother team of like sound guys and musicians and stuff. They're going to come in and add a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even think of. So it's a process and it's super cool. And I'm just really pleased. I mean, there have been a number of audio stories that have been coming out over the last several years. I know there's a big track record with some other franchises and stuff, and people just love them to listen to in their car, to listen to while they're taking a walk, like whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like this one is going to take us to a different level in terms of what these things can be because it is so produced in terms of the music, in terms of like, original composers, original sound designers, everybody gave this their all. And these are some of the best people working in the industry. So um, I don't know. I'm glad you love it. I love it. I'm incredibly proud of it. And I hope other people do too.
I am positive they will. I've been bragging to my friends about it.
I got to listen to a thing you didn't get to listen
I
to.
did, and they were jealous. That it's so well done, like you said, so well produced, obviously so well written, and I'm excited to get to hear the rest of them. And honestly, like you said, that's something we're doing when we're driving. I was walking on my lunch hours. That's what I was doing, and that just put a huge smile on my face. And I know everyone's going to love it. So
Thank
I
you. I
think
hope
we're
so.
out of time.
Okay.
So I really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your time and for squeezing me in on your busy schedule.
Okay.
And and all I can say is stay tuned to Nerd Alert News for more and make sure that you watch or you listen. So easy to say. Make sure
Yeah.
you tune into the podcast, which starts on September 8th, and it'll go through
November
November, I
3rd.
can't remember. till
November 3rd.
November. Thank you. So make sure that you catch it starting. The episodes will start dropping on Mondays, starting September 8th. And that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.